guys, in this month's Disney Rewind, we're going to be talking about The Incredible Hulk, released back in 2008. So, before we do head into our thoughts and feelings about The Incredible Hulk, we will be talking about spoilers in this video, and possibly even spoilers in regards to other movies, you know, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So if you're not caught up with, like, you know, all the Avengers movies, this video probably ain't for you. So yeah, The Incredible Hulk, released back in 2008. This was the follow-up to very popular and successful first Iron Man movie. This was our first time watching this movie. We've seen every single other Marvel movie, but we skipped out on this one. So this was our first time finally watching it. Stephanie, how did you feel about our first time viewing of The Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton?
Wasn't as horrid as I thought it was going to be. I wasn't looking forward to it.
I was a little worried.
I was just not a fan of the Hulk.
Yeah.
In any movie. So, yeah. But it was pretty enjoyable. Not a multi-viewing enjoyable.
Whenever people do their lists of Marvel movies and they rank them, you know, because there's, what, like 20-something movies now, most people have The Incredible Hulk at the very bottom. And I definitely see why. It's not that it's a horrible movie, but I feel like out of all 20-plus movies, this one almost doesn't really match the other movies, if that makes sense. It's kind of hard to explain. There's just a certain atmosphere, a certain type of comedy, certain type of writing, certain type of character plot, I guess, that the other movies have that I feel like this one was lacking. For me, this movie was like a lot more focused on the action than actually building anything up with plot. You know, the other Marvel movies, they have a lot of action going on, but they always make sure to have moments in there where you can really get to know the characters, you know, and show their vulnerabilities, you know, their strengths and their weaknesses. And like this movie, I don't know, it just felt like just kind of action scene. I don't know if you felt that way.
I was kind of okay with that. That helped keep my momentum going.
Because I even told you at one point, I was like, Edward Norton has barely even spoken.
Sometimes if we get too talky, I get too sleepy. So
I don't know. I guess I don't know, because I guess I'm so used to the other Marvel movies, and I was just expecting, you know, just some lengthy moments of conversation and dialogue in there, and that sometimes didn't really happen.
You know what I was really happy about? What? It was under 2 hours.
Yes, thank God.
Because I'm getting tired of these, like, 2.5-hour movies.
Oh no, the movie was fine. I did like it. It was fine.
Something I liked was I liked the beginning. I liked that we didn't have to go through the same freaking origin story.
Yeah, no origin story.
Like, they were able to tell it quickly at the beginning, and then they also, like, within the rest of the movie, they added into their other little things just to say this is what happened. But I liked that it was kind of like just that whole opening credits was just,
it gave you the origin in like 5 minutes while the credits were playing.
And
the opening credits were playing.
I liked that it wasn't.
Well, you got to think too, because it's the same thing with Spider-Man with Tom Holland. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
That's what I liked about that too. Yeah. Was we've seen it 2 different times.
Yeah, you got to think about it that way too, because prior to this Edward Norton movie, there was the Eric Bana movie,
which we've not seen.
and we've not seen that one either. I should have looked up when that Eric Bana movie came out. The thing is, didn't that Eric Bana movie come out maybe just a few years prior to that?
I think it was like 2004,
something
maybe?
like that. Like, it wasn't too long ago. So I think that was kind of the thing. Marvel being like, okay, that movie came out. We don't need to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it did. It definitely made me think of what they did with Tom Holland's Spider-Man, because, you know, when he's first introduced in Civil War, and then, you know, when he gets his own Spider-Man movies, I mean, he's already Spider-Man. We've already seen Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. We already got origins.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was refreshing with Tom Holland's Spider-Man. We just jump into it. We don't need another
They're
origin
like,
story.
you guys know.
So I think that's exactly what they were going for with this movie, with Incredible Hulk, because I think they were like, okay, people also remember that Eric Bana movie, because I think that was an origin I want to say that did have the origin in it. So it's like, why do we need to repeat that? People are just gonna feel like they're watching the same movie. So yeah, like you said, I like that if you're watching the opening credits, you get his origin in like that first 5 minutes during the opening credits, which was kind of nice. You just jump right into him being the Hulk.
I think too, you've got Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
Cocky a-hole at the beginning, has some life-changing thing, has a semi-different personality.
Mm-hmm.
Captain America, puny runt dude, gets some freaky serum, becomes...
Thor's
the same with arrogant.
He's arrogant,
and
he learns humility by the end.
And Doctor Strange. But
Mm-hmm.
with Spider-Man, he's just a high school kid.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing, he doesn't have a certain attitude. We don't need to know about his prior life before it comes Spider-Man. And the same with the Hulk. He didn't seem like he was a doctor, like, who was an a-hole doctor trying to do something, you know?
He was just caught in a bad situation.
Yeah.
Something that just,
So,
life-altering that shifted him,
you don't need a backstory.
Yeah.
You know, because he's not that type of character that
needed, like, a deep, in-depth origin.
Like the cocky characters, or the Steve being a nobody, or you know. So for the Hulk, it's different for him because he's just a scientist, and he just got caught in the wrong thing at the wrong time.
And that's what I liked about that 5 minutes while the opening credits are going. I mean, you get that backstory, just, you know, as long as you're paying attention. You know, you get that there's something happened, some scientific thing that happened. It altered him. He's this big green thing now. You know, that's kind of all you need to know.
I think they said
you don't need to know anymore.
I think they said that he was maybe trying to push something to try and experiment, but he wasn't doing it in a malicious way.
Yeah.
You know, he was just he was, I guess, probably out of curiosity.
Yeah.
He wanted to see something.
Yeah, the movie was fine. It's definitely not like my favorite. I would probably put it at the bottom of my list too. It was fine. I'm glad we finally watched it. You know, because it is technically part of the MCU canon. You know, they do technically consider it part of the canon. So I'm glad we finally watched it.
But they say that, but then then the character changes, and
let's talk about
like
that. Yeah, let's talk about that. Even though this is part of the MCU canon, it's part of the 20 plus films, we definitely notice that there are some inconsistencies there.
For one thing, the Hulk in this movie, he seems to have a better grip on his Hulk personality.
Yeah.
He knows that he turns, and he has semi-control of it. Whereas Mark Ruffalo's,
he struggles.
It's like he has no control.
It takes him until
several movies. Yeah,
it takes him until Endgame that he has total perfect control over his self as Bruce Banner versus his self as the Hulk.
Because in this movie, he knows that's his girl. You know,
he recognizes Liv Tyler or Betty Ross. He recognizes Betty Ross, like she's good. I love her. I can't hurt her. Mm-hmm. You know, he's able to kind of immediately recognize that and realize that. Whereas the Hulk, when Mark Ruffalo plays it, you know, especially in that first Avengers movie, it's like he don't really have control. It you know, everyone has to run for their lives screaming. And then, even not Civil War, but Age of Ultron, you know, Natasha's kind of getting to him, trying to teach him to recognize, like, her, you know, to calm him down. Even then, that's a struggle. Mm-hmm. And then, Thor Ragnarok, he kind of struggles, you know. It's like he likes being, he kind of just stays permanently as Hulk, though, for a while, though, don't he? Mm-hmm. And then, he can't even Hulk out in Infinity War. And then, by the time he gets to Endgame, it's like he's in total control. You know, he's in total control now of his Hulk stuff. So I do feel like there's like inconsistencies from this Hulk movie to just that first Avengers movie. You know, just the personality. The Hulk personalities are like two different things. How it's portrayed in Incredible Hulk and how it's portrayed in Avengers, I guess. Even even the two performances. Edward Norton has a very different take on the character, and Mark Ruffalo has a very different take. Edward Norton is, I think, a lot more dry. Is that more dry, more serious, more angsty, I feel like, quiet. And Mark Ruffalo, I feel like, it's like he tries to just take things in stride, you know, he's a bit more comedic, a little bit more chill. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's still like angsty in his own way, but it's like he is just taking things in stride, you know?
He seems kind of manic at times.
Well, yeah. But, I don't know, there's definitely inconsistencies there with, like, the performance, you know, but that's because of two different actors, you know? I mean, it's the same with the two different roadies from Iron Man to, you know, when he's introduced in the next Iron Man, you know? There's inconsistencies there with the two roadies. So yeah, it's kind of the same with the Hulk, but I mean, that's just a natural thing when you get two different actors to do it anyway. But yeah, as far as my favorite Hulk, I think I do prefer Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
I definitely prefer Mark Ruffalo. No, there's nothing wrong with Edward Norton. It's just, I'm just not used to that. He is just in the one movie, and he barely speaks. Like I said, there's not much dialogue in this movie. It's for me, it just felt like action set piece after action set piece.
Yeah.
That was kind of about it for me. And Edward Norton just barely spoke.
Yeah, there was no like discussion.
Yeah. I did like Liv Tyler as Betty Ross. It's a shame that she's not in any of the other movies. It's like, what happened to her? That's another thing. What happened to her? Where is she? Why isn't she in any of the other movies? I thought she was going to die by the end of the movie. Because I was like, she's not in the others. And, you know, considering that General Ross is in some of the other movies in the MCU, it's just strange that she's not in any of them. It's like they set that up like they were going to continue to have a great relationship, and it didn't go nowhere. And that's the thing with this movie. It set up a lot of stuff like they were expecting to have an Incredible Hulk 2, and that didn't happen.
Oh, yeah.
It just changed. You know? I mean, there's multiple things. Because there's Betty Ross. She just vanishes. They set up that one guy, the one scientist, like he was going to be the next villain for the next movie, if there was another movie. I mean, and then even... Tim Roth's character, I mean, did the Hulk kill him?
I was gonna say, was he
he
dead?
dead?
It sounded like he crushed his chest cavity.
I don't know if he even killed him.
But
Or,
I wasn't sure.
Did he go back to being human? I mean, what happened? I mean, there was just a lot of stuff. This movie ended abruptly to me. I don't know how it felt to you, but it just kind of ended abruptly. It was just like, okay, here's the ending. It's done. Okay, bye. Credits. Tony Stark. Hey, Jenna Ross. I'm making the Avengers Initiative. You know, I mean, it just kind of just jumped right onto that. It was just weird. The whole ending of this movie was just kind of weird. It's like, oh, we're about to reach 2 hours. We got to wind this down. It can't go any longer than 2 hours. But I did like seeing a lot more of General Ross in this movie because he's just kind of been a random character that's popped up in the other movies. Kind of as like, not a villain, because he is more of a villain in this, but he realizes he's a jackass by the end. He realizes... because in the other ones, he is kind of a bit more of an antagonist, kind of like a foil, like just getting in the Avengers' way. You know, it's like they're trying to do things and he's just getting in their way. You know? He don't understand.
I don't even know what movies he's in.
Do you not remember?
I don't remember him
If
at
I'm
all.
not mistaken, I could be terribly mistaken, you guys, but I believe he was in Civil War, like when they were going over like the Sokovia Accords. You know, because Iron Man's over here, Captain America's over here. I believe General Ross was in that. Because I think he was on the side of Tony. I believe he was on the side of Tony. Because they were all upset that Tony was siding with General Ross. They were all kind of pissed off about that, if I'm remembering that correctly. It's been a while since I've seen Civil War. And then I want to say he was either in Infinity War or Endgame. One of those he was in. One of those. And he's been in a couple of the movies. He just kind of just pops up.
There. He's just there for a brief moment.
Yeah. But yeah, I liked him in this, you know, get him more of his personality and him as just as a character. Because he was just a jackass in this movie. But that's his role though.
There were some things that just weren't believable. You know, like at the end when the helicopter was gonna blow up and then he like was an airbender for 5 seconds and like slapped the freaking air and then the fire went out. Yeah. Not causing an explosion. The graphics
all of a sudden the Hulk has some special powers we didn't know about. Yeah, like he claps his hand, he could blow out like an air wave and it put out the fire. That was just crazy. Mark Ruffalo never did that. I don't think Mark Ruffalo's ever done that.
Oh, and then when there was the other what exploded again? When they were in that big field.
By the campus, the college campus.
And something blew up and the big old fireball came over him and he covered up freaking Liv Tyler. But she was okay.
Well, didn't he like protect like Rocket when they did he snapped his fingers for the Infinity Stones? Wasn't he protecting Rocket or something? I can't remember because I think he can protect people. I mean, he's like impenetrable. I think.
New Hulk CGI is definitely a lot better.
Oh yeah, let's talk about the CGI.
His mouth was creeping me out.
It's such a difference from this movie to Avengers, because this was 2008. Avengers was what, 2011, right? 2012, something like that. I mean, it's such a difference with the CGI for the Hulk. It was pretty insane.
And budget. I mean, you also have to take into account, because
Avengers,
this wasn't Disney, right?
No, I don't think it was Disney yet.
So they didn't get that special budget.
Special Disney
magic
money.
I don't even know who the heck made this one. But yeah, they didn't get that special Disney money.
But yeah, what a difference.
Team.
Yeah, what a difference with the CGI, you guys. Oh my god.
And I don't know, I had made mention of this. I felt like he was a tad bit smaller in this.
Compared to Mark Ruffalo's?
Yeah, I don't know. Something made me feel like he was a bit shorter.
He seemed about the same size to me.
I don't know.
Well, the thing is, I remember, even though we didn't see this movie when it first came out, I remember the people going on like, oh man, these special effects are so much better than that Eric Bana movie. Because I think I've seen stuff for the Eric Bana movie, and it's horrible. It's pretty horrible what he looks like in that. So it's like each movie with the Hulk, it's like it gets better and better, you know?
And the other Hulk creature looked like some wilted cabbage.
Oh, Abomination, I think is what they were calling him. Right. I think they were calling him Abomination. Oh, Lord. That was pretty rough, too.
They're like, okay, we already spent money on the Hulk, so we can't really go.
Oh, we forgot about talking about him as well. I liked Tim Roth as a villain. He was pretty good.
Yeah. He was, kind of the highlight.
It's like he kind of had a bit of a sad little story, because it's like, he was just an army guy. You know, he made me think of, what's his name, John Walker?
Yeah.
He made...
Gone wrong.
Yeah, it made me think of John. You know, the Falcon and Winter Soldier show. The character of John Walker, who's like the new Captain America. Sorry if that's a spoiler. Tim Roth's character made me kind of think of John Walker. Like, he's just a military guy. Mm-hmm. He's like a good guy, and then General Ross just like pollutes him, corrupts him, and to turn it into this bad guy. And he takes the super soldier serum, and that drives him crazy. Then he's all like, I'm going to become like the new Hulk or something. I don't know.
And then he wants more.
Yeah. Because, he wasn't really a bad guy. I mean, he kind of just slowly turned into one after taking that super soldier.
The generals usually make you into...
it's General
in these movies, it's always the general that makes the other guy, the bad guy.
Yeah. I liked him a lot. I liked him a lot as a character.
Because the general didn't tell him that they were going after some dude who could turn into the Green Giant. They were just like, go find this guy, because I guess he was hoping they would train him before he turned. Yeah. But I don't know even if you trained him before he turned, if the Hulk would still come out and be like, what the heck?
Yeah. So where do we open at in Avengers? Natasha heads out to, it's like South America, right? Mm-hmm. She heads out to South America, and Bruce is down there chilling. I mean, that's how this movie opens. I mean, he's like in Brazil. Is that... I'm trying... God, I wish I could... I looked that up. Where is he in Avengers? Like, does he go back to Brazil? You know, like he liked it there?
You know, what I'm concerned about is he left his dog.
He sure did.
In Brazil.
He left his dog in Brazil, y'all.
His lady friend that was downstairs was like, he left his dog.
I did like all the stuff in Brazil, though. Where, you know, what was it, 138 days of... not changing or something. No incident. He lasted that long. Only for General Ross to come on in and fuck it up. Make him angry. I liked all the stuff in Brazil. That was good. And then, I mean, I feel like the whole ending just turned in... It was just one big, huge action thing for me. That I'm just not into big, long action things like that. They just kind of tend to drag for me. I'm just not into that.
I mean, it was just kind of boring if I'm too... giant creatures fighting each other, not the most entertaining thing. So Stephanie, if you had to rank The Incredible Hulk 2008 on a scale of 1 to 10 Mickey ears, what would you give him? As I say, I don't necessarily, I rank mostly on rewatchability and not in terms of the movie. Because, I mean, the movie was fine. It wasn't an awful
Yeah,
movie.
it wasn't an awful movie.
But still,
I don't think I'd ever rewatch it.
Yeah. It's just...
I'd only rewatch it because right now, as part of our Disney Rewind, we're rewatching all the Marvel movies because we've not watched them all a long time. So we were like, okay, this is a great opportunity to watch The Incredible Hulk. So yeah, I mean, unless we have another massive rewatch, you know, from start to finish, that's the only reason I would watch it again.
No,
But yeah, I mean, on its own, just watching it on its own, I just don't think I would just sit and stick it in and watch it on its own. But yeah, how would you rank it?
Probably a 6.
A 6? I think I would. I think I would go for about a 6 or a 7 myself as well. Like I said, it's not a horrible movie. It's fine, but I'm just so used to Mark Ruffalo, and this movie does just seem out of character. You know, there's moments it just doesn't seem like the same character. You know, the Bruce Banner character. It's like the Hulk is like the same in a way, sort of, but like the Bruce Banner is just totally different. Which, once again, that's just a thing you're going to have with two different actors doing it. They're both going to have their own interpretation. But yeah, the movie's fine. I'm glad we finally watched it. We have officially watched every Marvel movie
I still liked it. Still got laughs from it.
Yeah. It didn't. I feel like it didn't start to get like some of those classic Marvel jokes in there though until near the end.
Yeah.
Like I think it finally had a really good joke in there when Bruce and Betty are in that taxi, and the taxi driver's just going all crazy, and they jump out, and Betty's yelling at the taxi driver, and then Bruce turns her, and he's like, "Hey, I have some methods that you can control your anger with," and she's like, "Shut up." Like that was like a genuinely laugh out loud moment. Like, and the only first moment like that was really funny like that, you know, because I feel like the whole movie was like so serious, it was so serious.
Yeah.
And that was like the first funny moment. And then yeah, when the scientist guy popped up, I mean, it finally got a little funny there, you know. But yeah, it's like it finally kind of started turning into like your classic, typical Marvel movie there, kind of near the end with some of the humor. But yeah, about a 6-7 rating for us on Incredible Hulk. I guess that's all we have to say. I just feel like I don't have much to say.
There wasn't much to say.
I just feel like, I just don't have much to say. It was fine. It was fine. Edward Norton was okay.
I definitely just don't want another Hulk movie.
Yeah.
Even.
I'm just not
I just
interested.
don't want a Mark. I don't even want like a Mark Ruffalo Hulk movie.
I'm just not into the Hulk thing. I like the Hulk when he's with the group.
Yeah.
And then I mean I loved him in Ragnarok though, because you know he was with Thor and Valkyrie. You know, I think the Hulk he works really good.
He needs other people with him.
Yeah, he works really good with an ensemble, I think. Especially because the Hulk, he doesn't really talk. I mean, he talks now. The Hulk now talks.
Yeah.
You know, because of what happened in Endgame, you know, he can talk now. He's totally in control. But I think even how he is now, I think that would be weird for a standalone. But yeah, I think as a standalone, yeah, I'm just not that interested in a Hulk standalone. Just, I don't know. His character, and I guess maybe his set of villains, I don't know, just don't really interest me that much.
Well, aren't we getting a She-Hulk?
But she's a lawyer, I think. I think she's a lawyer. I'm excited for some She-Hulk, though. I'm curious what that's about. Anyway, we digress. So you guys, is that it? I guess that's it for our discussion on the Hulk. I feel like we had a pretty bland review here. I don't know, is that a sign of the movie being kind of bland, too? I don't know. Either way, the movie was fine. We liked it. We're glad we finally watched it. Have you guys seen The Incredible Hulk 2008? Did you like it? Did you hate it? If you hated it, that's okay. Or if you loved it, because yeah, we're kind of neutral. I feel like we're just very, very neutral on it. But if you love the movie, that's fine. And yeah, if you've seen the Eric Bana one, should we check out the Eric Bana one? No. Because I'm kind of curious. I just watch it for Eric Bana because I do love me some Eric Bana. And yeah, I mean, how would you rank the Hulks? You know, Eric Bana and Edward Norton and Mark Ruffalo. Who's your favorite and whatnot. So anyway, that's it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you like this video, you may like these other videos. Bye, guys.